Hello there. So, there are a lot of talks and reports in the media about the possibility of, for Israel to go into Rafah and the military control of Hamas. And there's a lot of fog about what would come after. Israel's politics are divided. Some would want to just go into Gaza and then see what happens later. Maybe talking to the Arabs, coalition, so on and so forth, and other parties are saying we need to prepare this with the US, meaning with the Biden administration. So I have published an article in Independent Arabia last week where I argued that basically there could be a path, there could be an agreement between Israel, regardless of who is in government, but this government for now, and Arab coalition Abraham Accords members. Now, here's the deal. This deal cannot be public in the Arab world because the moment Saudi Arabia and Egypt and UAE and Bahrain and even now Jordan would say, hey, we have an agreement, a plan with Israel to do so and so after Hamas is out, then the jihadists backed by Iran, backed by the Muslim Brotherhood, are going to go against these governments. And these governments are wise enough to understand that with the current policy of the Biden administration, they won't get any help. So this part of the agreement is discreet, is not visible with the Israelis. On the other hand, the Israelis will get two things. One is a tacit agreement, tacit support by the Arab coalition and the Abraham Accord supporters that they can go and finish Rafah and then actually dismember or dissolute or create a vacuum for Hamas across Gaza. So they will have that support, but it won't be public. They already have a support by a majority in Congress in the United States. House majority. There is technically a Senate majority that supports that Israel will have to go and dismantle Hamas, period, despite the counter pressure by the Biden administration. So, based on those two things, an Arab support, acceptance, but not public, and a strong congressional support to end Hamas, what remains is what will happen after. And here's what I've published in the Independent Arabia. I've argued that an agreement between those three forces, Congress, Israel, and the Arab coalition, Abraham Accord, would be that to make this possible, Israel will have to accept few points. Point number one is that they would actually help in the formation of a police force, a Gaza-based police force, to be with them so they're not seen as only occupier for a transition. That's number one. I can expand on this later. Number two, there need to be a local government by Gazans, but the Gazans who will enter that government in Gaza and the district will have to recognize the state of Israel, will have possibly to adhere to some sort of Abraham Accord between them, the Arabs, and Israel. Only then would the Arab coalition and Abraham Accord members go in with money, with legal infrastructure, and with support to the population in Gaza, in agreement with the Israelis. This architecture has to be extremely sophisticated, very intelligent, timed, coordinated. So what we're going to have at the end of the day is Gaza minus Hamas. Gaza will have a Gazan government, and of course this will open the discussions for whatever state solution in the future, and obviously what will happen in the West Bank, but immediately that's what you're going to get. A dejihadized Gaza with an Arab moderate approval, with an Israeli approval that the district will have to be represented by civil society forces in Gaza, and with the backing of the US Congress. That would actually put the pressure on the administration to make a decision. If Israel and the Arabs agrees on this, why would the administration be disagreeing and protecting Hamas through a ceasefire? So my article is much longer. It's going to be in English soon in American media. But that gives a sense to the readers and now to the viewers, my viewers, that there are options that Israelis and Arabs can adopt, and that's where the challenge is. So we will see over the next weeks if such an architecture is possible, because that's the only option that exists at this point in time in view of what the Islamic Republic, the Iran regime, are trying to do, which is to obtain a ceasefire and protect Hamas, and therefore bring back Hamas to Gaza while they are doing what they're doing in Syria and Lebanon, and most importantly, in crushing the Iranian revolution. So I'll come back with more comments on this matter, but that would place some clarity among my viewers as to what is actually going on.